This is CBS Sports HQ presented by Enterprise. OTAs began this week around the NFL. Here are the teams beginning OTAs today, including the two-time defending champs. Now, these are voluntary, but that doesn't mean we don't take notice if somebody fails to show. And that's the case with Minnesota's Justin Jefferson on the side of the milk carton. Yeah, not with the team, heading into the final year of his rookie deal. Should be noted, though, he wasn't at OTAs last year either, and things turned out okay. Let's get John Breech in here, one of the Pick Six podcast super friends. Breech, some reporters have suggested potential trades, suggested potential contract value worth over $100 million. What do you believe right now as it pertains to Jefferson?
Well, I don't think contract negotiations are going well, and I do feel like that's why he's not there. These two sides have been talking for over a year, and they haven't gotten anything done. We saw Justin Jefferson play last season for $2.4 million, Hassel, so maybe he played, but I don't think he was happy about playing at that rate. And so I think the problem is anytime these two sides get close, we see another contract pop up. We saw that with A.J. Brown last month, landing a deal that's worth $32 million per year. So now that becomes the floor for a Justin Jefferson deal because he's going to want to reset the market. So it seems like this is contentious. I cannot see the Vikings trading him, even though there has been that trade speculation pretty much all offseason. He's just too big a part of their offense. You have a rookie quarterback in J.J. McCarthy who you're trying to break in. I don't think getting rid of his #1 receiver makes sense. But if I'm the Vikings, I just rip the Band-Aid off and give Jefferson what he wants. He's going to reset the market. Let him do it and get it done with. Get him in there, and everyone will be happy.
And you mentioned other wide receivers, several more looking for new contracts right now as well, including Brandon Aiyuk, absent from 49er OTAs amid reports that they are nowhere near in agreement. We're closing in on 100 days to the NFL season. How do you see that shaking out with Debo as well potentially on the trade block, but at camp?
Yeah, this one I think is a dicier situation, whereas the Vikings should probably pay Jefferson whatever he wants. You have two sides that are kind of split here. You have Brandon Aiyuk, who obviously wants to be paid like a top receiver. He's gone over the 1,000 yards in each of the past 2 seasons. And he's probably looking at Amon-Ra St. Brown money, who, we saw the Lions receiver just signed for $30 million per year. But if you're the 49ers, you're going to Brandon Aiyuk's camp and you're saying, hey, look, we have Deebo Samuel on the team. We're not asking Brandon Aiyuk to do everything. Debo's our human Swiss Army knife. He's only making $23.8 million a year. And we don't want to go way over that number because we don't want to sit here and pay 2 receivers north of $24 million when we also have the highest paid running back. And we have to pay Brock Purdy next offseason. So this one's more interesting, especially because Aiyuk and Samuel are both kind of on the trading block during the NFL draft. I could see something happening here. Maybe if these two sides don't get a deal done before training camp, maybe they put Aiyuk back on the trading block. But I don't think we're going to see him resetting the receiving market like Justin Jefferson likely will.
Let's move to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, who have had a busy offseason. They've re-signed a bunch of their top talents, Mayfield, Evans, Winfield Jr., but Tristan Wirfs wants a new deal as well. Are they going to be able to make that work as he stays away from OTAs?
Yeah, for me, this seems like one that absolutely gets done. You cannot go into the season without your starting left tackle. I think that Tristan Wirfs has a legitimate beef. He has been watching the Buccaneers front office just hand out contracts all offseason, as you mentioned. Antoine Winfield Jr. got paid. Mike Evans got paid. Baker Mayfield got paid. Now you have to pay your starting left tackle. You cannot pay all 3 of those guys and not give Wirfs the contract that he wants. Obviously, he's going into that 5th-year option deal that will pay him $18.2 million. But when you look at the top of the left tackle market right now, the top 3 guys are making just north of $23 million per year, and then you have Laramie Tunsil at the top at $25 million a year. And I think that's what we'll see, somewhere between $23 and $25 million for Tristan Wirfs before all is said and done. I think these two sides will get a deal done. It's just a matter of when.
Tristan Wirfs still young in his career on his rookie deal. David Bakhtiari, fellow left tackle, former All-Pro on the back end of his career. Packers wondering maybe if that career is over when they released him a couple of months ago. He's only played in 13 games the last 3 seasons, but says he's on track to play this upcoming season. Who could use him if healthy?
Yeah, I think a lot of teams were waiting to see what his situation is. Can he actually play? Because as you mentioned, he has missed 38 games over the past 3 seasons. But if he is cleared and he can play, when he's been healthy, he's been one of the best left tackles in football. And all of a sudden, having someone with that talent kind of fall in your lap would be a huge signing for several teams. I mean, you look at the Washington Commanders, they could use a left tackle in there, especially protecting a rookie quarterback in Jaden Daniels. The Patriots left tackle situation is really murky right now. That's someone who might be interested in signing him. And maybe even the Chiefs. I mean, they decided not to go with Donovan Smith. They let him walk in free agency. We saw Wanya Morris, who is kind of penciled in there at left tackle, got arrested over the weekend. So maybe Kansas City gives him a call. And then you have a bunch of teams who just drafted tackles, and maybe they bring Bakhtarian just to be kind of that veteran mentor. And you're looking at the Saints, who drafted one, the Cowboys, the Titans, the Steelers, all drafted tackles. Maybe they want that veteran mentor, and he could make some sense with any one of those teams.
We've talked about some players who are not showing up to OTAs because they want a new contract. How about a player who's not at OTAs because of an injury? That would be Kyren Williams, running back of the Rams. Sean McVay says this is nothing to worry about. Are you buying that?
I kind of am. This almost feels kind of precautionary when you look at what Kyren Williams has been through in his 2 seasons there. You look back at 2022, he broke his foot during OTAs. He's been dealing with ankle injuries in each of his 2 seasons that have caused him to miss games. So if you're the Rams, you're saying, all right, let's not burn this guy out during OTAs. We don't need that. We need him fully healthy for the season. Obviously, it's a little concerning whenever you do have your starting running back not out there. But I think if he's sitting out training camp, that will raise some eyebrows. But OTAs, I don't think it's as big of an issue. And then the other part here is that they have a rookie running back in Blake Corum. And with Williams out, Corum's going to get some extra reps, and that's never a bad thing. So I think McVay and the Rams are probably okay with the situation as how it is right now.
Lige Douzable was with us yesterday. He says the lock of the year is the Rams over 8.5 wins. That's John Breech with us on HQ as we look ahead to the NFL season, just over 100 days away. A couple of matchups on CBS to circle. Steelers at Broncos, week 2. Russell Wilson revenge game. How about Bills at Texans, week 5? Stephon Diggs revenge game.